What is up, my fiery amigos? Welcome back to the channel for another Call of Duty Zombies guide, and today is going to be the very first guide we do on Black Ops 6. Just as a first and foremost, I apologize for the lack of Call of Duty Zombies content. I've been very busy with life, and it does take some time to do Zombies content. Now, I know that I've done some Paper Mario and GD content, and that's no excuse for Zombies content. I haven't had time to do these recordings. That being said, today's guide is going to be on Liberty Falls for the main quest. Now, the main quest of Liberty Falls is relatively easy. Actually, really easy, to be honest with you. So the first thing we're going to start with is the setup. Now, the gun of choice to start with, you can start with whatever you want. I would recommend any kind of point gun. I just use the PP919. You can use the XM4, any LMG, any SMG, doesn't matter. Let's go on to the melee weapon. Again, weapon of choice. I was using the new cleaver to test it out. And then for the field upgrade, I would recommend highly Aether Shroud. Now let's go on to the Gobblegum setup. For the Gobblegums, this is also one you don't necessarily need Gobblegums. I was running Free Fire, Shield Up, and Wall Power as the three. Those are the only thing you really need. If you really want to, you can do stuff like Arsenal Accelerator, Insta Kills, Double Points, Perkaholic if you really wanted to, Hidden Power if you really wanted to. Those are not necessary at all, to be perfectly honest. But you can run those if you wanted to. Now for the augments, this is where it gets a little interesting. For PhD Flopper augments, you want PhD Slider and Tribologist. For stamina, the augments aren't necessary for this Easter egg in particular. We'll get to that later when we do Citadel. But things I would recommend would be Free Fallen and then Flinch Resistance 1. For Juggernog, you want more health and hardened plates. Either hardened plates or durable plates. They're really vice versa, in my opinion, so it's whatever fits your fancy. For Speed Cola, you want the one that charges your specialist faster, your field upgrade faster, and quick swap. For the MMod augments, you don't really need them. It's not as helpful as it would be in, like, say, Terminus, for example. Now, on to the game itself. Of course, the first thing to do is going to be open up the map to get to the generator in the Pack-a-Punch room, and once you hit the Pack-a-Punch room in the church, hold X on the generator, and Dr. Panos will start talking. He'll go on for quite some time explaining his story of why he's trapped in dark ether and you need to help him contain the ether storms that are around the area. To start this, we will need the jet gun. For the first part, it is going to be in these cemetery gardens. You go into the gardens, you're going to find one zombie that's going to look like this. This is the housekeeper, or the graveyard keeper. His name is Dennis Griffin. Once you shoot him, he'll drop a tool shed key, and then you need to go to the left side of the gardens, behind the building next to the car. You're going to see the tool shed. Open up the tool shed, you get the handbrake. For the pressure gauges, this is the hardest part to get. I would recommend you do it on a lower round as possible, because if you do the higher rounds, it's going to be a little harder because you get like manglers spawning in, so on and so forth. So to start this, you're going to want to go over to Speed Cola, and right in front of the flower shop, you're going to see a hose. You want to pick up that water valve. And then you want to go over to the bowling alley, punch the cover on the gauge, put the valve in, and start the sequence. Now, if you didn't have the gauge, you punch it open at any time, and it will tell you that you need a water pressure valve. When you do the water pressure valve sequence, your hands will be locked in a knuckle position. And because I did it on such a low round, I didn't have a Mangler cannon to start the sequence, nor was I level 29 to craft a Mangler cannon. But you'll be stuck in here for, I think it's a solid 2 minutes. Zombies will spawn in to deter you, so just take your time. If I ended up flipping the round, because flipping around does give you like a good solid 15 seconds of leeway. So just take your time cranking that pressure gauge until it's completely done. When it is completely done, there will be a white flash and then the pressure gauges will pop out. And then you have the second part. For the third part, you do need the Mangler cannon for. So the easiest way to do it is go to round 11, shoot off the arm of a Mangler, then you'll drop the cannon automatically. You need to go to the Radio Shack and spawn, or close to Quick Revive for that matter, and blow open the door with the Mangler cannon. Doing so will open up the entire Radio Shack. Now, there are going to be piles of debris everywhere. The third part is in one of these piles of debris. Simply hold X on it. You're going to get salvage, vermin, or the handbrake. The wires. When you see the wires pop out, go ahead and hold X on them, and then go back to the motel. In the spawn, if you didn't open it earlier, zombies will pop out of the door. It's about 10 zombies. Kill the zombies, and then you can build the jet gun. Once you have built the jet gun, we need to find 3 parts. The first part can be found in all these comics. You look up into the ceiling. It's going to be right there. The second part can be found in a window barricade. You're supposed to see this from the truck next to Speed Cola, but I have a little bit of a trick for you guys. If you stand on the corner of the building right above Speed Cola, you're going to suck it up from the roof. It's a little weird, but that's where it's going to be. And then for the third part, you can't spawn it in until you talk to Panos. It's going to be right next to where he stands in the air. You'll see it right there. Just suck it up with the jet gun. You'll have all 3 parts. To build this, you need to go onto the roof of the Alamo. It's going to be in the far corner next to the ammo crate. Once you have built this, you're now able to counter the ether storms. There's going to be 2. There's 1 in the graveyard. There's 1 in the streets next to Ollie's Comics. You want to start with the graveyard. Go to the graveyard. You're going to see this circle right below the ether storm that's there. Put the LTG device down, and it is a lockdown. You have to protect this LTG device from zombies. If too many zombies go into the machine, it will instantly fail. And you have to do this for, I think it's about a minute and a half. Once the ether storm is done and cleared out, there will be an HVT that spawns in. This stands for High Value Target. For this High Value Target, you don't want to kill it automatically. You want to damage it all the way until it's at least to about, I want to say, 20 of its like 300 health. You know what I mean? It's like a small sliver. Then what you need to do is grab the canister from the field generator that's in the church and drag it all the way down to the streets between the 2 buildings connected to Speed Cola and the flower shop. Those streets right there. You want to place it close or on top of the little generator or the circle right here you see connected to the line. That's connected to the Dark Ether Field Generator trap. Activate the trap and make sure you lure that HVT into the circle you place the canister on. If it's not on the canister you place on, you'll have to flip the round and try this step again the exact same way. And if you have to flip around, all you have to do is simply hold X on the LTG device and summon the HVT again. Now for the HVT, you can either get a Mangler or an Abomination that have higher health than normal. I got the Mangler. If done correctly, the soul of the Mangler or Abomination will be sucked into the canister, and they will drop a max ammo. Once you've picked up that max ammo and the canister, you're going to bring the canister back to the generator. And now, the generator will open up what's known as a Strauss counter. Dr. Panos will talk about what a Strauss counter is. It's to help fine-tune the next canister's location so that you can grab the canister without it hurting you. If you wonder where this is at, this is in the spawn room. You'll see it here. If you walk too close to it, you will take damage. The canister is surrounded in dark ether. For the Strauss counter, you pick up this little doohickey. There are 3 computers you need to go to fine-tune them. And to fine-tune these computers, you need to reverse the polarity on the computer. So it has a red light, green light, and a yellow light. If it is a green light, you need to switch to a red light. If it's a yellow, there's nothing you can do. It's in the middle. You just keep it at yellow. And if it has a red light, you switch it to a green light. Now, these are random every game. They're not always going to be one's green, one's yellow, one's red. It's random every time. But the first one is right next to PhD. It's in the quarter of the gardens. You'll see it there. And then the second one's next to the tool shed. Go to the far side, but in the corner of the fence line, you're going to see it there. And then the third one is going to be next to the roof of the Alamo. You have to buy the breakable door and then drop an Alamo. It's going to be in the far right corner. Once you've set all 3, there will be a purple light that goes from the Strauss counters to the canister, and then you'll be able to pick it up. There's also going to be a quote from Blanchard that says you can pick up the canister now, and then we can start with the second Ether Storm. To start the second Ether Storm, do not forget to pick up the LTG from the first one, or else you won't be able to start it. So pick that one up, and then go to the streets and do the same thing. It's a lockdown. Protect the LTG from zombies damaging it, but then it will spawn in the second HVT. This one, I got an Abomination for it, but do the same thing. You want to damage the HVT enough until it's low health, then lower it to where you place the canister down, which I place it right in front of the truck, and then you kill it in the storm. Now for the Abominations, my best suggestion for you is to shoot it in the mouth that is exposed with your gun. That's going to be the best way to lower its health the fastest, especially with explosives like the GS-45. And then suck it in. And this will take a little longer to get. My suggestion would be take it through the bowling alley and then go put the canister back into the generator. Now, do not start the boss yet. There's a couple things we need to go over. The next thing we'll be doing is the Aetherella side Easter egg. There's going to be 9 total Aetherella statues around the map that you need to suck in with the jet gun. Now that we have the jet gun, it'll be easy for you. First 4 are in all his comics. They're all around the 4 corners of the building. The next one, you go to the motel in the spawn on the side, you're going to see this Aetherella statue hanging on the door, on the motel sign. For the 6th one, you're going to go to the Alamo, where you broke open the door, and you'll see it there, kind of like hiding in the vent. This is the hardest one to see, so I had to stand on the side angle for it. It's going to be there. And then the 7th one, you're going to go to where the bus is with the full power keg. It's going to be right on top of the bowling alley lanes. You'll see it there. For the 8th one, you go to the roof connected to the speed cola. You're going to see it on the vent there. This one's a little finicky to grab off the roof, unfortunately, so bear with it. And then finally, the last one's going to be in the church. Do not suck in the one on the church. This is going to be your key to winning this Easter egg. What you need to do is pull off the roof of the church and then drag it into the church. Since the final lockdown is in the church, you want to have it in there for the final phase. Now, once all of them are in place and you have all your guns ready, your gun, pack-a-punch, tier 2 salvage, tier 3 salvage, doesn't matter. Hold X on the generator and then we'll start the lockdown. For this lockdown, there are going to be 3 total phases. The first phase is zombies and manglers. The second phase is zombies and red HVT, being the mangler. And the third one's the abomination. Once you kill the zombies for each phase, something will drop. So for the first phase, a max armor will drop. And for the second phase, a max ammo will drop. When you're on the second phase, this is where I would recommend Free Fire. Free Fire would help out demolish that red HVT mangler, as well as try to double pack punch your GS45 if you haven't done it already in the boss fight. It'll help out tremendously here. And then for the third phase, like I said, it has an abomination on it. When the abomination does spawn in, you want to suck in the Aetherella doll. This will spawn an Aetherella. This will help absolutely demolish the abomination, everything inside. You will be invincible when you have this Aetherella doll. So simply attack everything on your sight, and when the abomination is killed, you will go down. It's not because of the fact that you're bad, it's because that's what you're programmed to do. Once you go down, that is the end of the Easter egg. I will catch you guys in the next one, and peace out.